Yeah, chosen ones are basically demigods, half human, half God, as far as being set apart from the regular population, human population. That their consciousness is raised to a higher level. They just know things. They're very smart, and God has much favor with their chosen ones. So this is my brother, and I'm gonna prove to the world why he's a chosen one and why he's chosen by God. And I'm gonna interview him, and he's gonna give you all the reasons why he was set apart and why he's that nobody can be like him. He's one of a kind. That nobody can ever be like him, and he's one of a kind. And that's how chosen ones are. Chosen ones are people that set apart and they're one of a kind, custom made by God. Nobody could ever be like them. They're their own people. So what's your name for the record, sir?
uh, Mark Chappelle, but I go by the attribute Suleiman. Suleiman is Solomon in Arabic. The English is Solomon. Everybody knows Solomon is or was the greatest king who ever lived in Israel. My attribute stands for wise ruler, builder.
So, okay. So I want to ask you some questions today to prove to the world why you were chosen ones. And it's straight from the horse's mouth. So my first question is for you, brother. What impact do you think you had on people prior to going to prison? What impact do you think you had on people prior to going to prison when you was in the streets? What impact do you think you had on the community prior to you being incarcerated?
Amazing, because people more looked at me because of my violence. I was aggressive. I was quick to carry weapons, quick to use weapons, quick to fight. Uh, so just blind, dumb courage, my aggressive nature. So it was a detriment not only to myself, it was a detriment to the people that follow me, also to my community.
Did people still follow you though prior to you going to prison? Did you still have people that liked you and wanted to be something like you, even though it was in a negative light?
Yes, and I reject that. The way I was moving or the way I was living, in terms of being ultra violent and disrespectful, not caring about anybody, just myself. There's no way a man should live his life. There's no way a man should conduct himself.
Okay. So why do you think you were so aggressive prior to going to prison? Why do you think that you were so like just ready to fight and just carrying guns and that, why were you so aggressive prior to going to prison? Why?
I was every man desires to do something great, to serve a purpose great to himself, whether it be good or bad. So, in my opinion, because my father didn't cultivate my masculinity inside of me or my nature, man nature, which is to do the right thing, uh, uh, not only for himself but for family and community. Uh, because I was devoid of that teaching, I weaponized my masculinity in terms of me doing opposite than what it calls for. Masculinity requires you to do positive acts. I did negative acts because my father didn't cultivate the positive masculinity in me. I demonstrated or exuded, manifested the negative masculinity, which was aggression. Also, buying into a street culture, you got to remember that we got to understand that every man wants to be known for something. That's what we created for the man to create, to develop, to be authoritative, to be recognized. So if you're not recognized by way of taking care of your family, being a good leader, you're gonna be recognized by just the opposite, in which you want to be the one that everybody looks up to, and it may just be in a negative way, such as being the one quick to wrath relative to fighting, shooting, etc. Um, the reason why I committed crimes, or the reason why I was uh, so ignorant, is because I thought, according to street culture, also because of a deprivation of teachings from my father, that this is what a man does. A man's a man woman a man is a womanizer. He sells drugs. He carry weapons. He assaults people. This is how a man gains respect. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I in error.
Okay. So my next question, brother, is why do you think? Well, were you influential in prison, and why do you think if you were influential, why were you so influential? So did you have influence in prison, and if you did have influence in prison, why do you think you had so much influence?
Yes, I had influence because, well, yes, well, when I first went to prison, I had negative influence because I was always fighting and stabbing people, committing assaults, and which I regret. But once I started learning and I changed my life in prison, I still had influence because uh, I started to care about people and care about the guys that I was privileged to have around me. So, yes, I had a lot of respect in prison, but it was more out of love opposed to people respecting me because of violence. Um, in prison, particularly guys that I dealt with, they were young and old, and I just treated them with I was pour a massive amount of love on them. Once I qualified myself, once I qualified myself, or I started to love myself, only then I started loving the people around me. And once I became more conscious of what a man's supposed to be, relative not only to himself, to his family, but to other people, that got the ball rolling in the right direction relative to people respecting me for who I am, not for what I did in the past.
Okay. So why do you think did you have influence amongst the COs, the guards?
Yes, and uh, there's a saying in prison. There was a culture rather in which you're supposed to be distanced. No, there's not supposed to be no type of enemy-guard relations. But that's scientifically impossible because we are social creatures. Now there's a prison code in which we're supposed to hate the guards. But once I became conscious, I can't hate nobody. So if I hate a man because of his profession, why not hate a man because of his skin color? That's not who I am. So I couldn't. Once I became conscious and became my own man, I rejected the notion that we must delegitimize somebody based upon title, because now you become worse as the racist or the sexist, etc. So you got to understand that it doesn't matter what type of profession a person has; they still must be treated with respect. Uh, also, there's a man behind that mask. There's a man behind that uniform. Even as a prisoner, I was in Browns. There's a man behind my prison uniform. There's a man behind the guard uniform, and we want the same things in life. We want a good wife. We want money. We want good homes. We want to be respected. So there's no way, shape, or form where I follow a culture in which I'm supposed to hate somebody because they're stationed in life. If that person hasn't warranted that hate from me by way of disrespect or wanting to harm me, I'm going to treat everybody with respect and equally.
Okay. So this is my next question for you is, do you think a higher power has chosen you for a purpose on this earth?
I think a higher power has chosen everybody for a purpose on this earth, and the purpose in my mind is subjective. I don't think it's objective. Why? Because what is purpose? Were we somehow created with a predetermined need or want for the planet, or did we desire to be who we are by our environment, by influence, tragedy? Is it a is it purpose that LeBron James, the basketball player, is it purpose that some people want to be trash men or females want to be nurses? Is it purpose that we have alcoholics, people OD? Is it purpose to be a boxer? Is it purpose to work on Wall Street? Is it purpose to be a car mechanic? Is that objective purpose or subjective purpose? I think our purpose comes from subjectivity in terms of where we grew up, our influence, and when we tend to lean towards in life that makes us happy.
Okay. Okay, good. I like them answers. I'm learning a lot. Just hearing your answers from the interview. I'm learning a lot. Okay, so my next question for you, brother. What advice would you give people that feel insignificant or in today's world and have insecurities?
Um, I did 16 years in prison, in no man's land, uh, the concrete jungle they call it, and it's dark there. You say I was in the belly of the fish, Jonah in the belly of the fish, uh, Moses exile, Paul on the Damascus Road. Um, whatever you're going through is always a silver lining, and we must thank God for struggle. Why must you thank God for struggle? Because nothing in the universe can grow without struggle, without toil. The tree, a beautiful tree, struggled to become beautiful. from that seed and was planted in the dirt, in the darkness, and it sprouted into light. But it's struggled through darkness. You cannot grow without struggle. When you're working out and you're trying to build muscle endurance, you must break your body down to experience that new muscle growth, to experience that new conditioning, that endurance. When you're trying to become better mentally or spiritually, you must go to war with the opposite force, the opposite power. You must go to war with that to become better. So thank God for struggle. Without it, you wouldn't grow. So whatever you're going through it for a purpose, for a reason. But uh, only if you endure through that struggle will you get stronger. But you have to go through. You have to go through trials to become. I had to go through 16 years of a trial of struggle to become who I am today. I'm still growing. So struggle is warranted. I think you need struggle in this universe.
Okay, bro. So I want to like switch up to the opposite sex. What would you say to women who have two and three, four kids, multiple kids, no man? They may be out of shape. They may not have a Coca-Cola body, and you know, the big boobs and the big butt. What would you say to them that feel that they're not wanted? That they're damaged goods, as society would call them, damaged goods. What advice would you give a woman that's put in that category of the ones that the guys don't want? What confidence can you give females to help them have a better day, a better life?
Every woman that is suffering from insecurity, being cheated on, and absentee father, it's not your fault. That man made the conditions that way, and because it's not. The man is here to secure you. The man is here to make you feel good. Not the other way. Not the other. It's the other way around. But for the basis for woman, the man is here to take care of you, to take care of his family, to make sure you go without that you want for nothing. So, and if you and it's not your fault. And don't think that you're not beautiful. Don't think that you're not wanted. Without you, black women or women all over the planet, there would be no man. It's because of you. You are the helpmate or helpmeet of man. You are the anchor of man. Don't think that that rule is diminished because you didn't find the right man. I just advise that you're careful and before you lay down with a man, you make sure that he's qualified in terms of bringing the best out of you. So sometimes you're gonna have to ride it out and not lay down with him to see this, if he really loves you. Never take for granted sleeping with somebody. What you have is sacred. You becoming one with a man by way of intercourse, that's a sacred thing. So for that to happen, a man must show you that he's qualified to have you in that way by his intentions for your life. What I mean by that, he must show you that he's willing to sacrifice, bring the best out of you, and do whatever it takes to uplift you and make you happy.
Okay, so bro, with all this information you just gave me is very inspiring, and people could definitely add it to their life. Definitely the women, young men. Is there anything personally that you want to add that you may think that can propel somebody's life that's not doing so well, that's going through a trial, tribulation, that's going through a little struggle? Is there anything that you can add right now to give them hope that they'll push through and it'll be sunny days ahead of them?
There's always a silver lining in every bad situation. You gotta look for it. And snake poison, the anti-venom that reverses a snake bite is in the venom. So it's always something positive and something negative. You gotta search for it.
Okay, thank you, bro. You did a good job with your interview, and hopefully this video can be inspiring to others when they see it to understand that the struggle you went through, the triumph, the redemption now, to rebuild now, and to give back to the community, and for the women to give them inspiration that you are wanted, that it doesn't matter how many kids you have, it doesn't matter how many pounds you didn't put on, that you're so significant, and that everybody has a purpose. Is that correct, bro? Everybody has a purpose?
Yes, everybody who ever lived since the beginning of the earth, this is the first person on the planet had a purpose, and to today, 2023, has a purpose.
All right, thank you, bro, and you have a nice day.
Thank you.